Good morning, everybody. Welcome to IGTV. With us this morning is William H. Murray, and Bill is going to be talking about security intelligence. Take it away, Bill.
Morning, Joe. Good morning, everybody. Security intelligence is pretty much, I guess, what IGTV is all about, as Joe's been telling you this morning. For the first few decades of our profession, we complained a great deal about the lack of quantitative data. Government thought that business had it and wouldn't share. Business thought the insurance companies had it and would not share. The fact was that the threat rate was measured in events per year and appeared to be anecdotal. Things have changed. Some events are now measured in hundreds of thousands per day. Now we have new problems. We are overwhelmed by our data. Our problem is converting it into information, meaning, intelligence, that is actionable information. Fortunately, we have help. Others have organized and analyzed some of it for us. While ultimately the responsibility for drawing conclusions and taking action is ours, they have given us the benefit of their knowledge and of their judgment. Perhaps the best known and received is the Verizon Data Breach Report. This report is based upon the hundreds of cases investigated by the Verizon Business Investigative Response Practice. Recently, cases investigated by the U.S. Secret Service have been added to a normalized database. The authors of the report point out that a limitation of this report is that it is based on the breaches that the authors are called upon to investigate, including many payment system breaches. On the other hand, the cases are sufficiently numerous to allow us to detect patterns and draw useful conclusions. Sophos publishes its security threat report annually. I find this title a little misleading because there is almost no quantitative information, and it is more about attacks and vulnerability than origin and rate. Of course, that's a problem I've been complaining about here for a long time. These days, everything is talked about as threat rather than as risk. However, the report has a great deal of useful quantitative information. I find the daily Sophos RSS feed also to be both topical and useful. It reports on the bait being used in social networks, and that tells us what people are looking for these days. Much of this intelligence is free, paid for by the security product and services industry. Some is not. For example, the Ponemon Institute offers some very useful research reports. Their annual cost report is extremely useful in anticipating impact or consequences in the risk equation. Their Trends in Governance study helps us assess our collective progress, however small. Don't be misled by the press releases. They do not reflect either the quality or the value of this work. The Symantec Internet Security Threat Report is one of the most comprehensive sources of Internet threat data in the world. Symantec's analysts have access to unparalleled sources of data with which to identify, analyze, and provide informed commentary on emerging trends and attacks. Malicious code activity, phishing, and spam. If they do not say so themselves, this is really good work. They do say so themselves. This really is a threat report. It is based upon information collected from 240,000 sensors in more than 200 countries and territories. However, the threat in the title does not keep the report from addressing attack methods and even vulnerabilities and targets. Their competitor, McAfee, also publishes an intelligence report. While it too is called a threat report, like the others, it is really an intelligence report. It is topical and broad in the range of topics that it covers. Each topic stands alone, and such discussion of data and methods is specific to a topic. The choice of topic appears to be the choice of the authors, and so no conclusion can be drawn or reached about completeness. However, the selection is no more arbitrary than the topics that I cover here each week, and perhaps even more useful. The large security consulting practices such as Deloitte, Ernst, and IBM also publish useful intelligence about the practice of enterprise security. These reports are usually based upon research, surveys, and interviews. They reflect the perception and practices of our peers. Of course, these are only examples of the information available to us. Most of it is free. Most of it is available on the internet. We need not even leave our desks to avail ourselves of it. Some of it comes to us with briefings via our professional organizations. For example, briefings on the Verizon Data Breach Report have come to you right here on IGTV, along with the other intelligence provided by IGTV. My colleague, Dr. Peter Tippett, likes to point out that intelligence involves getting the right information to the right person on a timely basis. Since one of his avocations is aviation, he likes such examples as American 21 Heavy, turn left immediate. Cessna 10 November, turn right immediate. Good intelligence helps us decide who is to do what and when, the essentials of a plan. Professions move through phases of maturity. Early, they rely upon intuition. They move through principles and standards of practice. Finally, they reach science. For the security profession, it is time to grow up. This intelligence will influence much of what we do, whether or not we use it. However, for it to help us allocate our resources most efficiently, we must identify it, study it, appreciate it, and apply it. It must be part of our continuing professional development so that we can qualify as modern professionals and be paid the big bucks. See you next week.
Thanks, Bill. Very perceptive as usual, and we will see you next week. I'm interested in that semantic report, and I'd like to follow up on that one with you, since you said that's one of the largest ones out there.
Well, it's the one that's based upon the greatest amount of data and the least amount of conclusions. With 250,000 sensors in 200 countries, they obviously generate a great deal of information. Converting that information into actionable intelligence is what the report is about.
Yeah, okay. Thanks, Bill.